All right. I think we're live. Testing. Hello, hello. Do let me know if the audio is all good. Feng, how you doing? Anale, how are ya? Oh man, that came out weird. How you doing? I don't have my coffee. Might have to jump out for a minute in a little while. Super, how you doing? Music is loud. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Down, how's that one? That sound alright? Hopefully that's better. 17 Linares, how you doing? Doem, welcome. Jordiort, better. You're a bit quiet. Why am I always quiet? I think I might be just not talking into the microphone. How's this, Super? Is this any better? Hopefully it is. Better? Okay, fantastic. I just got to talk into the bloody microphone. I need to get one of those like shotgun ones where I don't have to be like right up close to it. But let's get this out the way. First off, plug times. I've got a January workshop happening. Welcome to the stream, everyone. It's called Grey Matter, all about painting light and values from imagination. All right, just doing a quick little 10% off deal before the end of December. December 31st is when it ends. Okay. It's 5 weeks live with me. The link is in the description. You get access to the private Discord. 2.5 hours every week. You get assignments. Right? And they are staggered in a way where it's for beginners all the way up into advanced. Right, so if you are a beginner, you're more than welcome to join. You'll be able to follow along, no worries. And you also get a personal, depending on the seat, a personal paint over and critique from myself each week on the assignments. So there are 3 seats. There's also 2 time zones. All right, they're also filling up fast. So we got Europe and we got America this time. So for my European people, you've got an option as well now, which is great. You can choose your seat. We got the sit-in seat, the workshop seat, and the one-on-one seat. Workshop seat, you get live Zoom access, live Zoom lessons, all the replays, weekly assignments, Q&A during the lessons, the group critiques, the one-on-one group critiques, and you also get early access to the on-demand course that's currently in development right now. It's not just the recordings of the lives. It's like it's a full course sort of deal. The sit-in seat, if you just want to lay back, right? You just want to be an observer. You can do that. And we've also got a couple of the one-on-one seats left, which you get everything in the workshop. Plus you get one-on-one private sessions with me, 3 of them, and you can book them whenever you want. I would recommend either during or after the workshop, so you can sort of get the whole experience, and then we can roll with sort of building on top of that. But completely up to you. We can talk drawing, painting. We can even talk about social media stuff if you like, right? So it's completely up to you. It's your time. I'm here for you. All right. So with that out the way, welcome everyone. Let's get to drawing. I've just got to do this for promotional purposes. Let everyone know. The Bone Brew, how you doing? All right. Let us get started. So I want to do some figure stuff today. See how far we can get with it. I'm thinking about warming up with some of these, also let me get the view a little bit nicer for you, so I'm not so huge. Boom, there we go. Also, really quick, got a new little setup for YouTube, for content, for everything. Also got some artwork. I don't know, you can't even see it. I've got a nice little kehasuk. Oh, damn it. Right there. I'm going to stock up all the up here, the wall up here. We're going to do a little bit of tweaking to it. But it's coming together. Okay, let's get going. You do see paints hanging in the back. There is going to be some traditional stuff happening. All right, I just need to get chat involved here. Okay, let's get cracking, shall we? Let me just quickly whack this little link in here for you. Couple of plain, yeah. So there's going to be, what did I miss about the promotional things? The workshop. The link's in the description. 5-week workshop happening January 24th. I should have mentioned that as well. So I just pinned that link in there for the reference I'm using. And let's get cracking, shall we? All right, so we've got this baseball fella. How is this all looking? I'm a monitor down right now. Let's get my bloody head out the way. There we go. That should be a little bit better for you on YouTube. For those that are on Instagram, if you want the full experience, hop on over to YouTube. We'll get cracking. Annalie draws, you love baseball? Ah, fantastic. I used to play baseball for a very long time. That was the reason I first came out to America when I was 14. No, not even 14. I think I was like 12 maybe. Same. When I was younger. All right, so I'm trying to find the gesture right here. At least I didn't pick Dodgers. Oh, man. There was no thought on the team. Only the pose. I do like the aesthetics of baseball. There is something quite nice. All right, so his legs are tiny right now. So we need to whack them down a little bit. So I want to go a little bit loosey-goosey into it to start with. So let's go the flat flowy. Also, if you want this brush pack here, minus the liner, I'm still working on the liner. Links in the description. It's free for you if you want to give it a whirl. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got some twist in action here, which is going to be nice to play with. All right, so I want to sort of keep in mind le gesture and perspective. So this is a very long lens. So there's not going to be too much distortion, right? So it's going to, these feet are kind of going to be on like a similar sort of plane, at least optically, and at the angle that we're at, if that makes any sense at all. My PFP is Schwaber. PFP. What on earth is a PFP? I'm going to be embarrassed when you explain to me what a PFP is. PFP, something player? preferred player. Oh, profile pic. Fucking hell. Nice. Okay, I can see it now. Oh, idiot. Sorry, I've got like, not you, me. I've got, it's very far away. I've got to remember the camera's here now because we've changed everything up. All right. So zoom it out. I want to get a little bit of these hands. Just the movement of them. So they're kind of going back in space here. We can like whack the bat back over here. It's going back in space. That's fine. Taco, for a solid minute or two, I thought you were painting scratches to maybe make a dirt map for artists to use. It can look like that. For sure. Nah, I don't disagree. So I started taking Rem's advice about placing hands and feet first before trying to find the arm. And dude, what a bloody game changer. That's what I'm talking about. Bone brew. My guy Remby knows what he's talking about. I was actually watching that last night. Watching a few of the lessons. And I quite enjoyed one thing he said about connecting the ribs with the pelvis and having this kind of connection here. All right, because then you can kind of just fill them in a way. So this little arc is quite a nice little thing. Augustine, thank you so much. Appreciate you popping in. All right, so I really want to emphasize this twist. All right, so if we're thinking about that center line is going to be scooping in through here. All right, and then we might even have a bit of that back center line. Root Sakuga, will you teach how to go from gray to color in your course? It's not going to be focused on color specifically, but during it, if you do have questions about color, I'm not opposed to answering all color questions, but it's really focused on understanding light and value. Reason being, I wish I focused on it more while I was trying to understand color, because it's, I don't know, in my opinion, and it's just me, but trying to tackle value and understanding the physics of light and then color and laying color on top, it really confused me. That was just me. So really nailing the values and understanding that part of the equation, I don't know, it helped me. So that's why I just sort of mainly focusing on the light and the values. Because when I do a color one, I don't just want to brush over stuff quickly because I want to keep it tight, you know. I want to then really dive deep into color, but it's all predicated on values essentially. Candace, how you doing? Loving the content. Liking what you've been putting out. You've been smashing it. How have you been finding it? Oh, Fat Cappy, welcome to the stream, my friend. Very good. Very good. Coming in hot with the dad jokes. Now its head's a little bit too big. And now I should really start timing myself again, because I tend to go too long on these. But that's all right. We got one done. Boom. One down. Next, we're just doing some warm-ups, because I always say that, yeah, just a warm-up, just a warm-up. And then like 2 hours later, we've just sat on that one. Let's try this one. Now, I like this from understanding like the hips to the sort of, you can see a little bit of the ribs there. So let's see if we can do a bit of this. I've also been, I don't have it on me. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, so let's maybe start with the ribs. Now, I've been trying to push myself to do a little bit more of a structural approach, just testing it out to the rib cage. So we've got this sort of center dealio. Bing, bing, boom. This is gonna curve right the way back in. Right, the neck. Ear, back of the head. Down. Shoulder. Shoulder. A chromium process for those playing at home. Latissimus. Now let's see if we can. This is the kind of sweep that I'm feeling there. So let's find that. So I'm trying to like, this is more studying for me. Like this isn't so much gesture. This is very like a structural, trying to find that mannequin sort of deal. So what I've been doing in my own time is I've been trying to find the more realistic mannequin to begin with, and then whacking on a bit of stylization. So let's do that little trick that we've learned, because it's all well and good just watching these courses, but if you don't use this stuff, it's kind of bloody useless. That little character design walkthrough in the corner really helped me with color. A lot of helpful stuff. Glad to hear it, Sydney. Glad to hear it. Candice, for those who are interested in the workshop, 100% recommend it. My art improved a ton after. You're too kind, Candice. Yes, Candice is a Grey Matter alumni. When I spent my vacations at my grandmother's house, I played a lot of baseball with my cousins, so I love baseball so much. That's awesome. Yeah, I played baseball for a very, very, very long time. So here we're trying to find that mannequin. All right, I'm trying to find a little bit of the anatomy as well, just a smidge, not going too crazy. Right, then we may want to. We can either do one of two things. We can knock it back. I always knock it back. Let's try it again. All right, now let's try and find gesture first, maybe. So this is where we can, you could easily get too stiff with this, but I like experimenting with this. Just like all different ways of thinking. Just trying it on like a pair of shoes, giving it a whirl, and then doing something a little bit different. So now we got more flowiness going, a little bit of the hair, because that's still a little bit of that gesture, right? So that's coming here to the pit of the neck. Bit of that deltoid, that crease. So this is still, there's like a boxiness to this. It's not just like flat. So I'd like to figure out how to make that still feel rounded. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Larissa Meek, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Hollowed boy, is this man doing Tom Fox drawing techniques? You got me. You've got me. I have been looking at a bit of his drawing techniques as well, particularly just for the structure, because that's what I'll do. I'll bounce around. I'll do like a little bit of Rembi gesture, right? Take a bit of that, then get a little bit of the Tommy Foxy like structure there with the, because I was having, what I wanted to do, I really didn't like how I was doing rib cages. They were too loosey-goosey. They made it look okay, right? But they wasn't giving me the information that I felt that I needed, at least at the moment. But now I've been training to do it a different way. It's hard to kind of go back to what they were. Right, so I was just trying it all out. And that's what I highly recommend you do. Bounce around to all different artists. As for the social media content, I joined a mentorship specifically for artists and art businesses. It helped me figure out who my target audience is so I can put out the right kind of content. Beautiful. Who is that done by, if you don't mind me asking? Just out of curiosity. Because I've been seeing like even your camera presence and everything, it's you've been improving a ton. Because that stuff is something that you don't realize and no one really tells you. But as soon as you throw the camera on, not so much with the streams because these are more like chill for me. But as soon as you put on like whack the camera on and you start talking to it, and if you talk normally, how you would to like your friend or whatever, at least for me, I look like I'm so bored and I'm so disinterested with what I'm saying. So you do have to like amplify yourself just a tad. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, what it is what it is. My eyebrows tend to go up with all, like you watch any of my videos, you watch my eyebrows tend to go up because I'm trying to like not sound like I'm so freaking bored when I talk, you know. It's a tricky one. Breezy, how you doing? Great to have you. Everix Graphics, thank you so much. Appreciate you popping in. All right, this is quite a bit too long, but this is a little bit more stylized. I'm not being too concerned with that at the moment. Got that elbow. A little bit of that hand. We've got a bit of an indication of the musculature here. Now, from this, what can we do? We can go any way that we want. We can maybe try and stylize this more. I would like to give her a little bit more of the back of her head. There you go. Probably feels a bit better. Let's just continue to explore So maybe bring this one down here. All right, let's see how we can stylize stuff a little bit. Let's start with the head. Maybe the head's a little bigger. So I think there's something worth, like, even if you want to do stylized stuff, is to just get a little, just always explore the reality and then mix and match it, if you know what I mean. The creator KP, love watching artists at work when I can't be an artist and actually have to do work. Hopefully this is, I don't know what the word is, cathartic to you. But you can do that when you get home, when you work from work. I don't know what you do, but hopefully you can come home and then have a bit of fun. So let's really see if we can push this gesture a little bit more. Back behind. Maybe we change the hand placement. Right, so we're kind of learning from the previous one. Still those principles of in front and behind, like this lat behind here. Making sure that that's behind this arm, because you can very easily, like if you're doing a lot of study on a particular part of the body, for example, like the rib cage. If you do a lot of study on the rib cage, but then you forget that, okay, there's actually a muscle back here, you could almost like chop off or just like reduce any kind of in front and behind stuff, if that makes sense. So it's always just, yeah, trying to keep that in mind. I do love a good chunky forearm. I don't know why, don't ask me why, it just is what it is. I think that elbow can drop a little bit as well. So maybe... Alright, so we're taking the cues. Trying to find a bit of anatomy here. Now these legs are gonna poke out a tad. A little bit of anatomy there. And that's gonna also be a stylistic thing, how much anatomy we add to this lady. We're kind of looking up a little bit, so we want to get a little bit of that chin. Mally. May I ask what you use to put another camera that films you at the same time? Thank you very much. I'm using OBS, and through Instagram, use the vertical plugin by Atom. It's free. Give that a whirl. I've heard you say before that understanding form is complete freedom while drawing. I feel like I'm starting to get there, but I definitely still get stuck. You and me both. I get stuck all the time. That's why I value like being able to more so reverse engineer why things are happening. You know, instead of like throwing down lines that I didn't think about in the beginning, and then being kind of just like, oh, that was a good guess, got lucky there, and then not knowing where to go. If I knew that, okay, this head, she is facing this way, right? This is going to curl up here. We're going to see underneath the chin. So if I then have that logic in my head, like just even thinking about it, if I end up doing the chin down like that, maybe that's not going to feel correct, because this is indicating that we're looking sort of down at the head when that chin's going down, versus looking up and seeing a little bit of that underside, if you know what I mean. Hopefully that makes sense. Kaneki Kun 6130. How you doing? Great to have you. The art mentorship is by Kelsey Rodriguez. I thought it would have been. Yeah, nice one. It's a year-long program with workshops and personalized feedback. Interesting, nice. All right, let's see what we've got here. How you doing? Great to have you. I love watching your streams. Your art is so cool and inspirational. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you popping in. All right, I think I would like to make this head just a tad, just a smidge bigger. All right, now what else can we do here? Maybe this is a chance to knock it back. And then get a little bit more precise with our lines. Right, find that hairline. Now I'm not going for likeness here by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just having a play, trying out some different shapes. They might work, they might not work. It is what it is. Not a huge fan of the face so far, but that's okay. Just trying to get the vibe, you know. Hassan Al Labib. Hi Ben, I'm from Bangladesh. I really like your work and it's so helpful for me. I learned a lot from you. Thanks, man. Hope someday I'm going to meet you. Ah, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully one day, dude. Hassan Labib. When is YouTube gonna fix the avatar names? Speaking to camera is difficult. Whoop, sorry, just gotta make sure I catch this one on Instagram. Hi, I watch you from El Salvador. Really like what you do and thank you for giving us tutorials on YouTube and Instagram. I'm a fan of your content. Appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Speaking to camera is difficult. I always make sure to have enough caffeine before filming. True. And saying the same thing 20 times in a row helps loosen up. Believe you me, if you saw all the outtakes of all my videos, like, and you're also, the more you do this, you are going to start getting sick of hearing your own voice. And there is going to come a time where you're just like, ah, screw it. It is like, just roll with it. And it is what it is. And that's where you start to get even looser. And then it feels like less of a, you start to then think less about how you look or how you sound on camera. It just starts to happen. But again, that's just like anything, right? The more you practice. Lazy Sketch Guy, how you doing? See, I'm sort of flipping back and forth. I want to make sure that everything's feeling balanced. The new artist in town, how you doing? Great to have you. Trying to figure out from memory how someone might hold their hips. This makes sense there. Finger there, and then this one's going to be even less. It's going to be hidden. That looks stupid. Let's see if we can find. So this is going to be very foreshortened. Maybe the thumb is back there somehow, facing more this way. And then it sort of steps down, potentially. Feels a little bit more natural. Something along those lines, potentially. That's where you get reference, you know. Where do aspiring artists start becoming freelance artists in your own opinion? When or where? I'm not sure. I'm not the one to ask that because I never went the freelance route right off the bat, you know. I came through the social media way of doing stuff, which does give you a lot of opportunities, right? But I wouldn't have a clear answer for you on that one. There's a lot of other artists that are going to be better suited to answering that. Sometimes separating the index finger looks nice. Yeah, you're not wrong. We could just try doing the grouping them. Separating this bad boy. Boom. Something like that. And this is where just a little bit of thinking about perspective, that nail might be facing down that way more so, as the hand sort of curls back, and then maybe this pinky is just completely tucked underneath, you know? Something like that, potentially. And we can just come in here. A little bit of this sort of stuff going on. I would like to keep. I have been working on my line work lately. So keeping a little bit of that shine on the hair, or the illusion of shine. Like just in here. So it's kind of like a hybrid. It's not like ultra stylized, but it's got a little bit of something going on, you know. Gotta make sure that we're keeping perspective with the mouth. I guess it's like trying anything new. You eventually get desensitized to the initial embarrassment. True. And sometimes you just need to set a deadline and say, screw it at the end. True. I completely agree with that. Hi, Ben. I always watch a stream on my TV before sleeping. Oh, man. But today I'm on the PC because, you know, procrastination plus meeting tomorrow morning. Beautiful. Thanks for the content you make me want to draw. Awesome, Michael. Thanks for popping in, man. Extreme maybe, welcome. Great to have you back. Do you find female or male faces have easier or harder, or is it the same mostly? Or do I find them harder or easier to draw? I usually find it hard not to make the female faces too masculine. I'm not sure, actually. Might be a bit of... They have their pros and cons for me. Masculine faces, yeah, I guess you can go a little bit more rugged with them and have it not look too out of place. I don't know. I don't have too much trouble with one over the other necessarily. It depends if I've been drawing like a lot of more feminine faces, then I go to draw a male, then I could get caught out a little bit, where it's like, it's a little bit too soft, you know. So this is kind of like a hybrid between like the more realistic, it's not ultra stylized. I would like to pop that deltoid just a tad and really just bop. Wolby, how you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. For me, it's the bodies. I always want to sculpt muscles and then end up making bodybuilder women. I have to put okay, I can agree with that. For me, super. I can be the same there, definitely. Especially if you've just come off of like doing like anatomy study or something like that. Because all the time we're thinking about, okay, you got the muscles, you've got like here like the deltoid, you got this and that, you got the greater trochanter, then you got the IT band, blah 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 blah, and you almost want to show it all in a way. No, I get that for sure. Okay, next one. I feel myself noodling. I like this one. There's going to be like a lot of squash and stretch here. Let's see if we can like encapsulate the gesture first. So everything's kind of going back this way. All crouched up, all the energy is just ready to explode. Yeah, softening the muscles is really hard sometimes. Got to remember people have fat, even slim people. Yeah, even dinosaurs as well, apparently. I refuse to believe it though. My T-Rex is always going to be a spindly, muscular thing. But yeah, understanding the yeah, what are they, like the fat, where fat is held, can help a lot. By the way, leaves were a nice touch on the drawing from last stream. It brought it all together. I appreciate it, Lazy. Yeah, that's it's very much a work in progress. I want to do something fun, like here. I want to do. Yeah, I'm not liking it at the moment. This is like I'll finish this up on my own time, and I'll just noodle away on it over the coming weeks. All right, so there's that gesture. It's not looking quite right. I think this has to be more like planted, like going back and then going boom, boom, boom. Like everything's very like crouched. So I can get real messy with it. Then maybe with this one, we'll just like draw over the top. See what we can come up with. Is that a Geiger counter I hear, or is your mic happy to... Oh, it's my phone, I reckon. When I record, it happens all the time. It goes like... It does all that sort of shit all the time, like even after I record. I think it's my phone, because my phone's right here, and it must be interfering with this. So I wonder if it's going to happen for the rest of the stream. I hope not. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Can we clarify even just this head shape? He's looking this way. Boom, boom. Oh no, super. No, I do worry. Because I'll forget. It's a good practice probably just to have my phone away from the desk when I'm streaming or recording, just so it doesn't happen. Because I'll like do a bunch of recording and then I've got to go through and then find the parts where it doesn't have that sound, and it's annoying as fuck. But that's okay. Yeah, no, I do not. I'm not a fan of the chunky T-Rex. It is not my T-Rex. I refuse to acknowledge it. I'd even go as far to say is we don't actually know that that's true. Because all we found are fossils. So it's still just speculation in my head. Okay, still trying to keep it gestural. Right, so the knee here, this is going back in space. Well, while we're streaming already, new schedule. No, no, no. Have I done something wrong? No, this is normal time. I think. Yeah. What's wrong with the T-Rex with the little junk in the trunk? I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. Some say dinosaurs has feathers. Yeah, I don't believe that either. My velociraptors? No. Not on my watch. I refuse. Alright, so this is going back in space. This is going back in space. The hand. Like that. The hand here. Boom, boom, boom. Really foreshortened hand. Or like arm back here. I mean, they actually found some pretty cool evidence that a lot of dinosaurs had feathers. Show me your sources. Think of a cassowary. That's it. Cassowaries. Sick. Awesome. I'm down for that. They are scary. But I don't know. My velociraptor in my head. Scales and scales alone. Oh, I couldn't. Okay, no, all good. No, we're back to the regular schedule. No, this is the regular schedule. Would be scary to see a giant chicken-looking dino. Well, that's what they look like sometimes. When I see them, I'm just like, oh no. Extreme maybe. Oh man. Okay. Now, maybe do we try and mannequinize it? I would like to do a bit of like color on some of these. I'm feeling like going back to this guy and just like whacking on a bit of color. We'll see. You should see the prehistoric planet dinosaurs, the Velociraptor, and it looks amazing with feathers. I'm dying on this hill. That's fine, Super. That's fine. I will look at that. And then I'll make a judgment on the Velociraptor. There we go. We just needed a bit of context here. That's feeling a bit nicer. Yeah, Lazy. I reckon we might do some lasso tool color work on that fella. Let's see if we can. I might scale this guy up. I always end up working so small on this massive bloody canvas. And let's. Lock him. Okay, let's go again. Let's do like a dark, I don't know, like a red or something. Let's have a bit of a play. Let's get out of the the boring, just black inks. You just finished watching the first Jurassic Park. Classic. Holds up. And you're talking about velociraptors, yeah. Mind you, it's a pretty common theme. I do like a good dinosaur. Okay, trying to keep this simplified, stylized. So we're going to lose a little bit of like the brows and everything because of that helmet. Okay. So let's see if we can. So there's going to be scrunchiness up here. Alright, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be stretches here with the arm. That's going to be a little scrunchy. Then I'm going to again do a little bit of messing around with the proportions. But a lot of this, right, is what's in front, what's behind, what's in front, what's behind. Like all the time I'm thinking that. I'm just going to put obscure symbols there. Joseph, do you mind? I have a question. Go for it. All right, so this leg here, I want to keep in mind. Remember we did a lot of knee studies a while back? Well, I did, and I was like sharing a bunch of what I've learned. I want to keep the feeling of that. So we can simplify that, scrunch it up here where it's like, where it's all bunched up. We got the shin coming in here. I think we've got to lower the leg just a tad. Is that an animation? No, it's not. Orkin, a lightsaber in their hand and a cape on their back would look pretty cool. There we go. Which way would that go? Like here? And then you got, yeah. That'd be funny to see like a Jedi just like wind up like a baseball player and just like, what? Nerd jock solidarity. Nerd jock solidarity. I like it. The good old days back when every stream had a knee breakdown. I know. We've got to bring it back. Here we go. Do a quick one. So you got the upper leg. Right. Think of that as a cylinder. I want to find that center line down here. It's going to jut out. This is where that little kneecap's going to go. And then come back down here. It's more of like a triangle sort of shape for the shin bone. And bada bing, bada boom, we got a nice little quick knee breakdown. Then the calf will pop out there. Lovely. Ah, nostalgia. All right, thanks. Wanted to know why you always start sketches with colors rather than black. I don't always. Honestly, no real technical reason. I think it looks different and fun. And that's kind of it, really. No, nothing much more than that. Marvelous. Okay, we can follow some of that logic with the hands. Boom, boom. Then he's going to have his little glove on. Cool. Oh no, it's a lightsaber now, isn't it? I feel like lightsabers are a little bit longer than baseball. But it's just for the reach. Oh yeah, I picked up gouache again today. Ah, fantastic. All my gouache is like 4 years old and it's still good. Nice one. I usually use red just because I like it, but it does help to separate the sketch from the cleanup line art. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is more of like a deep crimson, maroon kind of deal, but yeah, I just chose a different color than black. Nothing, no real rhyme and or reason. One issue I have with that is that the M. Graham & Co. titanium white has separated a bit, so it comes out part paint and part liquid. Does yours come in like the little tubes? Have you given it a good little massage? I'm obsessed with the way you stylize hands. I know I've made it when I'm happy with my hands. Yeah, I want to do more hand-like tutorials. I haven't done too many of them. But they are oftentimes just like everything else. If you can simplify them down, you're going to have a lot better time. Could even do a little bit of this. Yeah, I did massage it, and when I opened it, it leaked out. Luckily, I was able to use some of what came out, but still not ideal. It's not a huge issue. I can just mix it, and it's fine. It's just weird, yeah. It is annoying when they separate. No, that line right in the middle there, too thick. I'm just practicing a little bit of my shedding. Consistent straight lines. Just to give a bit of that depth. And this was great in like ball pen as well. Ballpoint pen, ball pen, baseball. All my wires across today. Still though, excited to get back into it. 100%. I'm looking at those oils right there, and I just can't wait. In the next day or so, I've just got to get them out. I've got to get the palette out, and I've just got to get the canvas, and it just has to be out. Because there is something about traditional that you just can't get with digital. Took some chances, made some mistakes, and got messy. Beautiful. I like that it's not as forgiving, you know? What medium do you recommend for a digital artist who has never really painted traditionally? Depends what you're painting with. You thinking oils, medium. The only thing that I've ever used is called Liquin. Liquin Original. But some people don't use any medium. Some people use linseed oil. I'm pretty sure, what's his face? The guy that does this with his paints before he does the reels. Oh. Someone knows his name. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, sorry, not medium, as in like medium to... I personally really love oils. With the limited experience I've had with them, they are the thing that makes the most sense to me. And I do really enjoy that it's like what you put down is the color that it's going to be. It's not like if you do use gouache, you've got to take into account if you put it down, depending on the color, it's going to dry lighter or darker. So good luck trying to match those colors after the fact. But Super is right though. Gouache is cheaper if you want to dip your toes in. It is water-based. So there is a lot of pros to gouache as well. I'm not opposed to it, but oils have just like a little special place in my heart. Particularly for like color mixing and that kind of stuff. Okay. Look, we've done some line work stuff. Let's just, yeah. Could we even smudge it to make it a little bit more traditionally feeling, maybe? Get a little smudgy boy here. Just like smudge it on the edge of the... it doesn't add too much to it, if I'm honest. It's fine. All right. Back to this fella. We'll wrap it up with this guy and see if we can get some color stuff going. I'm feeling. Just doing some real blocky, straight lasso tool colors. That's what I think would be a good bit of fun. Let's get our reference back up. Beautiful. Okay. Let's just lighten it a tad to begin with, then we can... Oh, maybe we try and match the background just a little bit. All right, I'm going to keep zoomed out for now. I'm just going to go. Boom. Red. State Farm. Boom. 2 red. Knock it back. Knock it back even further up that saturation. Oof. Yeah, I'm not getting too picky with the bloody State Farm. Alright, that's fine. Let's squint. So we need to kind of maybe match. I'm looking for those just blocks of darker values, right? Not super concerned with the exact color by any stretch of the imagination. I like the idea of oils, but don't know how difficult or messy or whatever. I see those people painting on portrait artists for the year. Yeah, I mean, you could do it as small or as large as you like as well. Like you can use oils, like people just like do little like gouache studies. I'd try, like, for speed and getting something out there, maybe gouache is the way to go, just to begin with, just to get your dexterity with the brush. But then it might be, yeah, soon after that, you're like, yeah, this is fun. Let's try. Because my first thing that I did was like traditional painting anything. I think it was oils, actually. But yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this guy. So this is mainly just going to be like a color study. So it's... because gouache actually dries, right? Whereas oil doesn't for ages. Well, that's where you can use the mediums like liquid, where it does help it dry faster. But that's sometimes not what you want with oils. You sometimes potentially want to utilize that slow drying of oils, depending on what you're doing, particularly for sort of like plein air or like alla prima. Sort of just like swooshing the paint around as you go. Now I'd like to maybe, well, not do the colors as what's the word, like as explicitly as they are done here. Like, is there room for play? I think there is. Alright, so there's going to be some darker spots in here due to the shadow. I might play off that cool shadow kind of deal. Maybe even, yeah, scoot this down into the cooler zone just a tad. So we can always come back through and change stuff, brighten it up and do whatever. Gouache reactivates easily though. Yeah, it does. This is true. I've never heard of people using a varnish for gouache though to seal it. Oh, you have. I've heard of people using. Oh, okay. Yep. You've also got. There is another thing that I did want to try out was called acrylic gouache, which is like gouache that acts more like acrylic and it sets. It doesn't reactivate, but it still acts like gouache. So it's like this weird hybrid between acrylic and gouache. Hence the name acrylic gouache. So we're just trying to get a bit of that illusion of light. We can bump up. Maybe we just do this like almost stark white. Here, like all up on this upper part of the leg. Maybe not all the way down. I dig the red stripes down the side of the pants. Very Flash Gordon. They are very helpful as well to giving this like illusion of form. We can do the same thing for the hands here. Give the illusion of that bat coming through here. The pinstripe crumpling at the hips is a fun detail. Yeah, I know. It's nice. It's just like... See, we zoom it right out. It's starting to feel like something. Now this helmet, there's a lot of subtleties when it comes to the super shiny stuff. Because it's going to change hue and all sorts. And then we come in with this, and then we just go shebang. Boom. Bop, bop, bop. And then it gives that illusion of shiny stuff. For shiny, I have the trouble of resisting the color dodge. It is a great little tool, the color dodge. I'm not going to disagree with you. But if you can understand what's happening and why it's happening, then you could just use the color dodge in a very specific way that makes sense. Alright, so this part of this little sort of lit section of his face, got to make sure that it rolls off. Right, we don't have to. Right, it doesn't need to be that detailed, but that's something that I want to, that I see, and I want to make sure, for example here, I want this to be a bright point up here, and particularly on the planes that are facing more upwards. And then we can sort of slowly step it down. Here, this has to adhere to the laws of light. So this on top of here should be a little bit more desaturated because it's facing that light source even more. Then we've got this little guy in here, which will probably be doing the same as this. Here, I want to really separate out the lights and the shadows, so we can even desaturate this section here, because it is kind of like different material. And he's got that there, and then we'll finish it off. Right, so we've got the lighter section and the darker section, making sure that they sort of stay consistent with the lighting that we've got here. I find color dodge can even be useful with a dark color for creating effects on copper metal. Yeah. 100%. Oh yeah, I watched the Mark Brunet video where he tried out the lasso tool for painting. I don't think he knows about filthy. Oh, interesting. Yeah, nice. Oh well. Gotta hop in those comments. Was he doing it like manually It's always so inspiring to see you work with color. Still waiting for the color workshop. Yeah, it's gonna be a little while, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna take us a minute. But I want it to be really like, the thing with my stuff, I don't want to just like throw a bunch of information. I want to make it so freaking useful that it's just like a no-brainer. And more so like outline the things or the ideas that helped me. It just like helped me click, or help this stuff click for me. Wed Banjo, how you doing? Yeah, he was just using the lasso fill. The lasso fill to. Oh, Mark. There is a better way. Oh. When you do stylistic art, have you already decided what to exaggerate ahead of time, or do you just make it up as you go? A bit of both. Sometimes I'll decide, like I want it to be more in this style or that style, or but sometimes I'll find it, and that's where doing like a lot of these little experimental things can come in handy. Not just relying like, okay, I'm going to do this one way, this one time, and then this is how it's going to be. Try it out. Make the hands bigger. Make the forearms bigger. The shoulders smaller. You know, the hips wider. Have a play around. The canvas real estate is cheap. Give it a whirl. It shouldn't be this easy to find the perfect color. I'm not finding any perfect colors, my friend. We're just experimenting. Whoa, what is going on here? No, thank you. What I'm figuring out by accident, well, not by accident, but even though I'm doing color, this is what I'm thinking about. Values. Without this value structure, like all the local colors and everything like that, Candace, you know what I'm talking about. It'd all fall apart. Hence, while we've got this workshop coming up, 31st of December, 10% off. Starts January 24th. There we go, integrated plug there. But it's true, right? Values are the thing. Right, and a little tip here, all right? Let's talk a little bit of color. Here, if you can see where this sort of Under Armour sort of rash vest material, in the light, as it turns towards the light, it's very, very desaturated. Or it's not very, very, but it's a lot more desaturated than as it's sort of turning into the dark or into the shadow. So to really help that ring true, I'll desaturate. Can be very slight, but it just adds that level. Even up here, right? As this is turning into the light, I'll desaturate that to really make it read as a different plane. You can play around with saturation just as much as values, right? It'll do something to the values as well, but I followed your advice with values and it has helped me develop quite a cool character for my college project. Ah, fantastic. No, I'm glad to hear it. Is there a difference between the Filthy plugin and like regular old lasso fill? Clip Studio Paint's lasso fill is pretty efficient. I haven't played around with the lasso fill. This is for Photoshop. So what you can do, I don't know if you can with the lasso fill, right, is say if we want to jitter around the hue shifts a little bit in this area, you can do that on like a per shape basis, and you can decide how far you want to go, how different you want the shapes to be, you want the hues to be. And my personal favorite, which is a nice little opportunity right here, is the luminance lock. Right, so here I've locked the luminance to this value. So anything that I put down here, depending on how crazy my hue shifts are, it's going to adhere to that same value, or like a very similar. It's going to do its best to figure out like a very similar value. So it's great for adding color variation in a very specific way, so that it doesn't sort of bounce. Because if you just did it with hues, or even if you did like the color jitter with the brush, every hue has its own value, right? So even if I just come here, select, I'm going to turn off luminance. Like if I just select this orange, right? Full saturation, let's go full brightness. If I choose a blue, whack that in there, look how much darker that is, right? If I wanted to add a blue color variation next to that orange, I would have to really knock down that saturation and try and find something not too bright. Getting there. If you squint your eyes, right? But that's what luminance lock does. So it does a couple of other things instead of just filling. Yeah, I should really do a video on it. I've yet to do that, but we've got now got the office studio set up. There's going to be a lot more video recordings, a lot more tutorials and lessons, content, baby. I would like to stylize them a little bit more, but let's see where there's an opportunity. I think we've neglected the legs a little bit and the feet, so let's get him sitting on solid ground, shall we? All right, then we've got this. Yeah, roll that in. The silhouette is so important as well, right? Here we can give that real like stylized like curl or like crunching of the fabric. We could be a little bit more tasteful with it as well. It doesn't have to be as crazy, but and then we can even cut across here to really show those folds where they're going to be catching some of that light. So there'll be little planes here, which is also they're also gonna be catching some of that light as this stretches around. Here, I'm gonna try and make that clear delineation between the light and shadow. So yeah, good little exercise. Give this a whirl. You don't have to do it with the lasso tool. You can do it with like a hard brush. Where did this guy come from? Let's get rid of him. Can we mess around a little bit with the style, just a tad. Make the legs a little bit more lanky. Like really sell this kind of hip pop. And then knock this all the way back in maybe. So let's see if I can break this down before we head off into what I'm thinking about values wise. So if I'm looking at this here, I've also made a little script that is it going to work? Yeah, you can maybe see with hotkeys it'll reduce the brightness ever so slightly, increase it, and then it will mess with the saturation as well. Still tweaking it. So this, what I'm trying to portray here is like this. We can even box this out. So there's going to be this sort of topology in a way. Kind of unclear. Let me scooch. So here, we can imagine these as just simple forms. We can imagine this is like a twisted thing. But what's going to be happening is this kind of deal. Alright, so then the terminator line is going to come through here. This is going to cast a shadow, and then we've got this. This sort of deal here. So maybe the light is coming more so from this way, so some of this is still going to get hit. There might be a little bit of fall off underneath that back there, but then this, if we imagine there's like a plane here, that's going to be facing the light, so that's still going to get hit. This leg down here is going to get hit. Right, so it's all making sense from this simplified way. This is what you don't see me thinking about when I say I'm going for it. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those termination points where the light is no longer reaching the object. So I'm thinking about all these curves, like whoop, 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 and how this curves. Well, this is actually curved back this way. This curves this way. All right, because what I'm looking at here, we've got the light source. It's coming down here, and that's casting a shadow then on this leg. So then this plane is going to be similar to this plane. So that's going to catch light. That's going to catch light the same. And this is how you can start reverse engineering stuff when things aren't looking quite right. Right, and then if this is coming this way, then this whole front of the face potentially will be in shadow. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Good little practice for me as well, just to think through these things. Look, I reckon I might call that a stream, everybody. Good little session. Figure heavy work. Got a bit of color in there right at the end. Got this fella a little bit more stylized, of course. Got a good little knee in there. And yeah, good bit of fun. Nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking. Keeping it consistent, coming back week after week, studying, having a good time, right? And before we head off, I will mention, you know what's coming up. Got to do the plugs. Where are the plugs? Hello? I exited out of the plugs. Hold the phone, please. Correct. All right. You know the drill. If you want to join us for the workshop, January 24th, next year, next month, it is 10% off until December 31st, all right? 2 time zones, European specific and America specific. Doesn't mean that you have to be from Europe or America. It's just those time zones span those places. And yeah, look, you're smart people. You know where to find my stuff. If you enjoy it, links in the description. If you want a free brush pack, links in the description as well. If you want to give that a whirl. For everyone in chat, you bloody legends. For everyone that's not in chat, but you're still watching, you lurkers, gotta love you guys. I'm the same as you guys. Same time every week. Monday, 10:45 Australian Central Daylight Time? Standard Time? I think it's Daylight Time now. Around that. Or around 4 p.m. PST. Going to bounce this evening. Definitely going to be tossing the streams on this week while I go through the Aaron Blaze gesture and animal classes. Oh, I'm jealous. Nice one. Appreciate you, Bone Brew. Appreciate you, Super. Great to have you, Orkin. Catch you later, Sydney. Weird Banjo. Catch you later. I'll catch you next week, Super. Catch you later, Extreme. All right. I'm off. I'm hungry. I'm going to grab something to eat. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll catch you in the next one.